Nicole, will you please do roll call?
Mr. Blair?
Here.
Mrs. Grosh?
Still here.
Mrs. Gutierrez?
Still here.
Mr. Hall?
Still here.
Mrs. Morales?
And I'm here as well.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm gonna guide us through our through our agenda. Do we have any other items for the consideration of additional agenda items?
I do. I'd like to discuss 2 emails that Margaret sent me, and it won't take longer than 5 minutes.
I propose that we discuss that during open session. Open discussion. I have an item. Under open discussion, I would like to address the expectation that all board members adhere to the established board norms that we have collectively approved and agreed to in September of 2025. Are there any other items, additional items that you guys would like to add? Great. Do we have any public comment?
No, not.
Do we have any introductions or presentations?
We do not.
I am looking for a motion for the treasurer's report.
I move that the Board of Directors of Hyland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the November 2025 Treasurer's Report as presented.
Second.
Discussion?
Comments from staff on the numbers?
I don't have any prepared comments. I know Mike and I went over a couple of questions, so there's a few items. We did pay some of our debt service payment that is due in December. In November, got those on the schedule early, so that looks a little bit different when you look at the interest expense for the district overall. I think if you look at the numbers under the enterprises, everybody's having another great year. The ice center, the golf course, Water World, and Adventure Golf. So very pleased with our performance so far, and expect to finish the year in good position.
I did have one question. When I was looking at the capital investments number, the remaining amount to spend, and this is as of November, is 5.8 million. Can someone help me understand that number?
You heard me, Mike. Go ahead.
Sure. So in the budget number, the 11.5, that's gross. In other words, the checks that the district's going to write. In the actual number, that includes checks we've written less reimbursement for various grants. So Yvonne and I, so it's kind of an apples and oranges comparison. So Yvonne and I spoke and said for 2026, let's make sure it's apples to apples, that it's the checks that the district is writing, because that's in the budget, compared to what we're actually writing. So
Okay.
we'll make that adjustment in 2026, so you don't have an apples to oranges comparison, and therefore generates a large variance.
And I will add as well that part of you're seeing in the actuals on the capital investment includes some of the payments that we're already making for the Water World project, which, if you all remember, was not in the original budget. So that's part of that too. And again, as Mike mentioned, that some of that will be reimbursed when we issue the debt for the project.
Thank you for that reminder too.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. All of those, is there any other discussion? All of those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay. Aye, and moving on to the next item. I'm looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the board meeting of December 9th, 2025.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the minutes of the board meeting of December 9th, 2025 as written.
Second.
Any discussion? The only thing I'd like to point out is that we adopted the budget in December, and the budget was unanimously approved by the Board of Directors. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Yvonne, I know that there's been extensive communication and correspondence to you and Ellen for the golf course, and that you sent out and it informed the board that you've been responding to all of the communication from the board. Do we have any communication or correspondence that we want to include with the board this meeting?
So I would say no, and I think Warren already pointed out that the items that are to be included and read at the board meetings are agenda items. We do not have agenda items regarding the discount program, so there's none to be included in the board packet. I know you've all been copied on multiple emails, and I feel badly about that because they really are operational items, not board items. But yes, Margaret is correct. We have responded to those emails between Alan and I together, and then you all should have seen the email that I sent out specifically to the club presidents to try to address as many of these items as we could. So again, not an agenda item, so they're not included in the board packet.
Thank you. Would you like to give us an executive director update now?
I would be happy to. So a couple items I want to point out on the report. So the first one, we talked about completing the 10-year capital improvement plan. So you all received that at the last meeting. We thought it made good sense because it's so important to the district's future for us to schedule a study session just for that. So that is an agenda item, is to schedule another meeting a week from today to specifically and exclusively talk about that 10-year capital plan. So that is one item on the agenda this time. And then the second item is item number 2. When we talked about the Carol Butts project, I have an update since then. So we, Steve, our main project manager animal, got after the contractor and really insisted upon him fixing the surface of the pickleball courts so that they were not slick. We were very concerned that they were going to be too slick and somebody could get hurt, because we know we still don't have the final coating on that. So we came to a resolution, and they actually started on that this week and are doing kind of basically putting a non-skid surface on those courts. I think that they're going to do half of them, open those up for play while they continue to do the other half. But I would say within the next 2 weeks, those should be available for play. And with the weather that we've seen, we know that that's going to be a popular and in-demand amenity for those people. So we're very glad that we got some resolution there. As a reminder, the contractor will come in the spring once the weather is consistently warm and do that final coating, which will be the painting and make it look how it's supposed to look for the final project. But very happy, very thankful to Steve and Alan to continue to push that with the contractor, make sure that they were handling that correctly. And then one of the other items I have is that we've got winter youth sports program, and it's timely right now as we sit in this building. Beginner basketball, I think, just started tonight. So if I poke my head around the corner, and they're cute as can be in the gym doing their basketball, and as you guys saw the little gymnasts and dance programs, I mean, this is why we're here, right? This is why we do what we do. This is why it's important for us to have a sustainable model, because we know that those programs are not making money. So it all is part of the whole, and we are just thrilled to death to provide to the community.
Nor are they designed to make money.
Nor are they designed to make money. Correct. So beyond that, I'm happy to answer any other questions. We're super excited about 2026. We know we got a lot of good, fun things coming. I'll let Bob have his moment with talking about the project, but because that's a big one going on, but just a lot of really good things happening across the district. So really excited about 2026.
Will these pickleball courts be signed up to, like, people call to rent them?
Eventually, I would say probably next spring, and maybe Skylar can answer that better than I can.
Yeah, as soon as they're available for play, we would be able to reserve them. We
So
plan to program them, but it'd also be open to the public when it's not programmed.
Is it the same for like Clear Creek Valley, like you call one place and then tell you, okay?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Moving on to the next item.
Oh, no,
Oh,
there's more items in our report.
Oh, those are the ones I wanted to highlight, but I'm happy to answer questions about any others.
Okay.
Actually, now that you mention it, Mike, because one of the items is number 4, so we do have that on the agenda, that we have selected an underwriter for
yeah.
the upcoming revenue bond financing, and that's an agenda item for tonight. Really thankful to get some really great responses. Interviewed 4 very, very competent firms in the end. Any one of them could have done the work for us, but we landed on, so it really almost came down to who could provide it for us at the best price, and that was Stiefel, not Stifel, not Stifel, Stiefel, who we worked with many, many years ago on when they were Hannafin Imhoff. So excited about that and looking forward to getting that kicked off right away.
and I'd like to add is that Stiefel was going to pursue an upgrade for the Highland Hills Park and Recreation District. And why that matters is because the higher we're rated, the less interest expense we have to pay. So that is a wonderful thing and they can see the value and how prudently the district has been financially and managed and fiscally responsible over the last decade, and that really shows through. So that will enable us to get an upgrade. Also, Stiefel has a very experienced and strong investor pool that invests in park and recreation districts, which will also facilitate the sale of the bonds and reduce our cost of funds for those bonds. Another good thing. The other thing that they said is that the board of directors can be on the trading floor when the bonds are issued, so we can see the pricing live, which I know excites me. Should excite everybody else, I think, but that is a privilege to be able to be there. And then the other thing that we ensured is that our community has the opportunity to invest in these bonds first and foremost. And so now I am looking forward to being able to invest into the Highland Hills Park and Recreation District and add that to my portfolio, and they allowed for that. And so the last thing that I'll point out is that this isn't the last bond offering that we're going to have, and they were very relationship focused and really focused on meeting our needs going forward for the other bond issuances that we'll need to meet the capital improvements that we have planned. And so thank you guys all for your hard work. Thank you, Mike, for all your hard work on that and making it possible.
Yeah.
Anything else in the executive report that we would like to address?
No, ma'am.
Moving on then to the next one is the KPI report.
The request I have on this is, can you do it in landscape formats and the numbers?
Yeah.
Mine is, yeah, we'll work
Yes.
on that.
Okay. Anything you want to point out on the numbers?
Yeah, I guess for the month of December, I'd highlight, Yvonne touched on youth program registration, gymnastics, those are both up for the month of December. It's great to see a full gym with our basketball program right now. We also were pretty intentional about running promotions at the fitness center for the month of, end of November, December, so our visitations were up in December, effective Black Friday deals. And we're hoping that continues into this year with Free Fitness Week and some other, increased marketing that we're putting on for the fitness center. And then also highlight, the enterprise facilities, Adventure Golf, Ice Center, all had uptick in numbers for the month of December. So this is our month where you can actually, see it all, get a great picture of how we performed in the year. You can go down the columns between 25 and 24 and see a great performance for the year.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board? Moving on to the next one is the Water World dashboard.
Good evening. Well, I'm excited to give you some updates on the project. We continue, as noted in here, to enjoy amazing construction weather. So our construction team is taking good advantage of that situation. We have not accrued any additional weather days. That's reflected in the dashboard. A couple things that have changed here. You'll notice that permitting has moved over to completed. We are substantially complete. We have just a few little permit things here and there. That was a concern early on in the project in terms of, permitting is a thing and can hold up a project, but we are really substantially on the other side of that. The site in general is taking shape. We have pool bottoms in the kiddie pool. The restroom building is taking shape. We have walls going up there. Foundations for the buildings are all in place now. We're doing caissons, slide pits. It's starting to look, there's still a lot of dirt around and a lot of activity, but it's starting to take shape to look like a water park pit. So we're excited for the things that are happening there. We will be they'll rerun the model here in one of our next construction meetings, and we'll see where that lands, but we feel like there's been some positive movement in terms of good weather and making up some time going there. So we'll see where that lands. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Allison, you provided us with a legal report. Is there anything that you would like to note?
Good news in my legal report is one of the pending lawsuits, this slip and fall in a park, has been dismissed as of yesterday. So that lawsuit is done.
Okay, dismissed, thanks.
Plaintiff dismissed it.
With prejudice.
With prejudice, yeah. So, there you go. It's good news.
Good news. Thank you. I don't see any old business, so we're moving on to new business. I'm looking for a motion for a resolution approving the regular Board of Directors meeting schedule for the calendar year 2026.
I move, oh, I'm sorry.
And designating the posting locations for notices of regular special meetings.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the resolution of meeting schedule for calendar year 2026 and designating posting locations for notices of regular and special meetings as such resolution is written.
Second?
Any discussion regarding the motion?
Nicole, at the next meeting, will we get the 2026 calendar like you
Yes,
put out
I'm
last
sure
year?
Skylar's working on it right now.
Oh, I can't wait.
Boy, you threw him right under the bus, didn't you?
That's a Skylar thing.
And when we send out the email reminder to have the new location on it, if there's a new location change. So to look at today's calendar invite, it has the other place listed.
Okay.
Got it.
Any other discussion? If there are no questions, all those in favor of a motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion passes. I'm looking for a motion for the February 2026 Board of Directors meeting location change.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District move the location of the February 12th, 2026 study session and board meeting to the Highland Hills Sports Center located at 4201 West 94th Avenue, Westminster, Colorado, 80031 at 5:15 p.m.
Second?
Do we need a motion for the new January meeting?
Yeah, it's item G.
Okay. Got it. Any discussion about this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. looking for a motion for the approval of the Bender's Bar lease transfer.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the landlord consent to transfer of concessionaire ownership as written and approve the landlord's waiver and consent to enter premises to remove collateral as written.
Second.
Discussion?
Just clarification, this consent to enter premises to remove collateral as written is only in the event of default on the loan. So, just to make that clear.
Yes, and with the whole lease transfer, is there anything that the collective board should be aware of? Or does, Yvonne, do you want to provide any
Yeah, maybe,
details?
and maybe I'll just give you context. So the lease committee has been working on this for a while now. We were approached by current owners, and I apologize because I meant to do this during my report session. We actually have our current operator, Jim Armstrong, here attending the meeting, as well as Zoe Harmon, our new building operator, as soon as you guys approve this. So I wanted to introduce them to you and let you know we have been working with them for, I don't even remember exactly when we started, but for quite some time. The committee did a great job of vetting the proposals, of making sure we were had it how we wanted it. We had engaged Allison to make sure we were doing everything on the legal side. We got with the City of Westminster, gave them all the information too. So the City Council did approve it as a part of their consent agenda item last night, and so this is the last step before then Zoe and Jim can complete their transactions of transferring the business to Zoe. So really thankful to the committee. I thought some great questions and very thoughtful discussions and contemplation took place with everybody during this period of time. For the rest of the board's benefit, Zoe worked for Bender's a while ago and went out of state for a while and came back, felt the calling her back from Bender's. So really a serendipitous moment for her to come back and to fit in with Jim's desires. Jim has done nothing but sing Zoe's praises the entire time. Of course, we have Kathy Hooper. Hoops here is the heartbeat of Bender's and has been for a very long time. So just, again, really happy to have this group of people here to continue to operate Bender's in the manner that it has been for years, provide that service to our hockey players and other Ice Center customers. So again, thank you guys for coming. Sorry I missed the introductions earlier. And again, very, very confident with this recommendation to the board.
So the lease committee has met with these people. The rest of the board has not. Is there anything you guys would like to say?
Well, I'll just introduce myself a little bit. I did work for Bender's for 5 years, all the way through nursing school, and then was a nurse for the last 5 years. And then, I always tell everybody that working at Bender's gave me what I needed to be a nurse, and being a nurse gave me what I needed to come back and be a part of this team again. And I'm really grateful to be here.
Thank you.
Guys, Zoe does not need to buy vendors. She wants to buy vendors. She brings passion, she brings intellect. But again, she worked for us for 5 years before leaving us. And in all honesty, I never thought I'd sell vendors. It's my baby, Hooper's baby. We wouldn't even talk to anybody unless it was the right person. So I am 100% confident in Zoe. And that said, Hooper and I aren't going anywhere. We're both in on being consultants, so I'm going to still be around. But Zoe brings incredible passion and integrity. But again, she wants to buy vendors. She doesn't need to. She's doing just fine as a big shot nurse. She wants to buy vendors, and I can tell you in 100% confidence that vendors is in good hands and will continue to be in good hands.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, congratulations and best of luck to you.
Well, we haven't voted yet, so.
Oh, sorry.
And Jim, thank you Jim, I think you've done a world with this restaurant and the ICE community, and I've heard nothing but great things. You've done so well over the years, and I'm sure it's gonna continue to be that way, but thank you for bringing such a good product to next door to us. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. We enjoy the relationship that we have. And I'm coming up on February 1st, it'll be 26 years since I opened the doors there. Zoe is my 4th owner, and I'm staying on with her for as long as she'll have.
Wow.
Is there any other board discussion or questions? All those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes.
Congratulations.
And hockey players appreciate knowing that there's a nurse close by.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, moving to the next, oh, this is awkward to have this here. Moving to the next item, I'm looking for a motion for the Stiefel Public Finance Engagement Agreement.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the engagement agreement of Stiefel Public Finance for bond underwriting for the 2026 revenue bond issue and authorize the Executive Director to execute the agreement on behalf of the district.
Second?
Any board discussion, questions? All my comments that I made during your executive director stand here. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? And I say aye. Motion passes. I'm looking for a motion for the Adventure Golf and Raceway Storage Building.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District award the bid to Novos Construction in the amount of $327,408.87 for construction of a new storage building at Adventure Golf and Raceway, and authorize the Executive Director to execute the contract on behalf of the district.
Second?
What questions does the board have? Staff comments?
The only comment I have is I really appreciate seeing these other bids. I don't remember seeing them as often as I might like, but seeing these right in front of us was a nice touch. So thank you.
And again, I would have the same request that Mike had before. Can we do landscape?
Public technically.
Okay. Any other discussion?
We just, Alan, quickly, type of walls, roof,
So,
how wind resistant is this building? Is it gonna be good for 30 years, so we don't have to
30
replace it till then?
30 by 40 structure. Architecturally, it matches existing, so stucco side, metal roof. And so the features, the faux brick on the front, everything is gonna match the surrounding buildings. The goal was to not make it look like a metal building. That is a shed, like right now we're using tough sheds in a trailer. This is gonna help us tremendously get a little more organized, a lot more organized, and protect our equipment and our supplies, from being out in non-really conventional type storage buildings. So we're super excited about it. We're hoping to make it look like it belongs there, right? Number one, not a storage building, because it will be down by the lower cart maintenance area. So it has a south-facing entry, which is nice, anytime you have a storage building, especially when you're loading and unloading winter supplies. So we feel like it's a really good solution, and we're excited to get it going and have it available for our teams.
Thanks. All those in favor, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I'm looking for a motion for the Adventure Golf and Raceway restroom remodel.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District award the bid to Novus Construction in the amount of $256,220 for the remodel of the upper restroom at Adventure Golf and Raceway, and authorize the Executive Director to execute the contract on behalf of the district.
Second.
board discussion or any discussion items? Ellen, do you want to tell
Yeah,
us about?
That's a fancy bathroom.
Well, how many square
Well,
feet
so-
is this building?
There's a few things of note. First of all, architecturally, this is the upper building. It has a men's and women's restroom in it currently. We have basically 4 stalls available to us in between the two. So the concept, well, first of all, if you're gonna remodel a bathroom, it's gotta be ADA compliant. These were done before that was required, so these have been there for decades. They're due, a lot of old equipment in there, so we'll bring those up to the modern standards. The entry doors are gonna face towards the north, so as you're walking next to the Venture Club, you're not gonna really be thinking, well, what's that building there, right? Because the bathrooms are hidden around the side. So we're gonna have it clearly labeled, you're gonna see the entry doors to the restrooms. They're gonna be family friendly, so you won't have to send your little guy in there and hope they're okay. You get to go in there with them and have your own private space with your family to do your thing. They'll all have changing tables, modern fixtures, right, water-wise components. So we're really excited about it. It's something that's, overdue. What I will say is we're on a tight schedule to get it done by April. So we open AGAR, Adventure Golf and Raceway, and weekends in March. We may have to use the lower restrooms for a bit. We don't like that, it's an inconvenience, but in the end, we're gonna be better for it. So the goal was to have this going while we have the opportunity to be closed here, so that's why it's hitting me now. So that's really the long and short of it.
New HVAC system?
So we've, actually, the water heater that's in existence is sufficient to handle what we need for this, the architects decided. And then we are using the existing HVAC, it's fine. There's no AC in there, there is baseboard heat, right?
Okay.
And so air circulation did have to get updated.
Okay.
So the air circulation pieces wouldn't cut it with the city of Westminster, so those were updated.
Construction is not cheap anymore, period.
Well, remodel's even worse versus new builds.
It is.
You get a demo. Yep, okay.
Ready?
Yes.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I'm looking for a motion for the schedule of Board of Directors study session.
I move the Board of Directors of Hyland Hills Park and Recreation District schedule a study session for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 5:15 p.m. at the Cottonwood Lodge located at 9650 Sheridan Boulevard, Westminster, Colorado, 80031.
Second.
And so I just want to make sure I understand. So we'd have a study session, but not a board meeting.
Correct, so
Okay.
it's a study session, so there won't be any board action taken. This is for us to go through the capital plan and have time to really discuss it thoroughly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
So
no board action.
we have sufficient time to
Correct.
go through the plan.
Correct.
Because I was.
Because
it's
45
a-
minutes
it's-
is not gonna be enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I have a question about that as well. So in the very first response email I received from Margaret, it said that I had requested a meeting, a special meeting of the board, and she said that it was warranted, that an additional meeting was warranted. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's what it says in my email that you sent me. Is this that meeting?
I'm not familiar with any emails that you're talking about, Warren, and so we'll have to go through it together at a computer, because what you're referencing, I don't.
Okay,
I don't
I'll
recall.
reference it again later, so I can read it to you, all the board members received it, I can tell you exactly when it was sent, and I'll do that at
Okay.
open discussion.
Yeah, so this.
But I wanted to know if this is the meeting that you said was warranted from my email request to the other board members about having a meeting for further discussion.
No, this meeting is solely to go through the capital plan that was provided to us at the last board meeting to go through in detail.
Got it.
what this meeting is.
Got it.
So, any other discussion or clarification about this meeting? All those in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion passes. Okay. Moving on to the next part of our agenda is the Board of Directors committees. The first committee is the Bylaws and Policies Committee update. Is there an update for that committee?
I have a little update. Lori and I met, and we will be meeting with Yvonne on the 29th. There are a couple of items that we want to review with her before presenting anything to the board.
Thank you. The next committee is the Capital Projects Committee update.
There's been no meeting since the last report.
Thank you. A Finance Committee update, Mr. Holt?
I think Yvonne kind of summarized the objectives or project over the last 8 weeks.
Yep.
It came to resolution on bond council and bond issuers.
Underwriters, yep.
Yep.
Thank you. Lease Committee update?
We are going into executive meeting tonight, and we'll have an update at the next meeting.
But we also approved these guys.
And them,
Nice.
if you weren't paying attention.
Management Succession Committee update?
Yes, we met today, our second time, and we're just chipping away a little at a time. Have our first item, what we need to do is just decide what the succession looks like, and we have already made a date to meet for next month. So it's just, it's a work in progress and just taking a little bit of time right now. We'll have more next time.
Thank you. The next item that we have is the Board of Directors open discussion. The first item that we have on the agenda is a Highland Hills Foundation update. Would you like to provide an update on the cornhole tournament, Lori?
Well, I do believe it's open for registration. We have not met, we do need to meet again, but it's February 21st, I believe, and we just need teams. I'm working with Troy Manley, he's helping out with, hoping to get some donations, some beverage donations, and we'll get a food truck, and we have our next foundation meeting on Thursday at 4 o'clock.
Thank you. Westminster Rotary Club update. Warren, do you have anything that you would want to add to that?
I think that's you.
Okay, the only thing I have is that Rotary has a bocce ball tournament in March. And it's a fundraiser for bocce ball. And if we would like to form a team to participate in the tournament, I'd be more than happy to be a participant in that. And so that's one of their fundraisers that they do. And just as a reminder, Rotary is one of the organizations that has contributed money to our parks, to improving our parks. So it would be very nice to have a reciprocal team with them.
Those are 4-people teams.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to add, Warren?
No?
Okay. The next item that we have is discussion of 2 emails during open discussion. Warren, do you want to?
Yeah, I think you and I were going to talk about the same thing on this one. I'm happy to go first.
I don't know what it is. So
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to jump in right now.
Okay.
So, going back to December 9th, we were asked to, back to October, we were asked to approve a fee increase. The fee increase that we were asked to approve was $5. When we got back to December 9th, it was $6. So there was a change in that, and we needed to address it. We also, at that point in time, were given information, the first time we'd had any information on the resident passes and non-resident passes. We had none of that at the October budget meeting. We have none of it at the November budget hearing. We didn't have any of that information. So we received new information for the December 9th board meeting. We were asked for input on the passes. Yvonne sent out an email saying, if you have any thoughts on this, let us know. I did that. You guys know that. And, but everybody did. Margaret and Lori both mentioned slow play, and also no-shows, non-refunds for no-shows, and hiring of marshals. Those are things that I remember Margaret and Lori mentioning. Then I received an email after that from Margaret that said, I need to stay in my lane and not talk about operational issues.
I don't remember that email
Well, I can
at
send,
all.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I have
please
it, but
send
let me finish, just let me
Yes.
finish. So I just want to know, Lori, did you get an email that you needed to stay in your lane and not deal with operational issues?
No.
No, I did. So I'm being treated differently than other board members, Margaret, and that's a violation of our norms of grace.
So-
Let me finish.
Hold on, I'd like to respond to that now, because you are trying to impugn my integrity, and I do deserve a response.
You've already done that to me.
I don't recall sending that email, and if I did, please forward it to me and all of these board of directors.
It's not if you did. I can send it to you tonight.
Send it tonight.
So,
I would-
it's not if you did.
It's fine, then if I did and I can look at that, that's fine. But I don't recall doing that at all.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't understand that. There was an important email where you mentioned that the request for a special meeting was warranted. I don't think you meant that. First off, the email didn't even sound like you had written it, but we can get into that at a different time. So then I was just going to let it go. It's time to move on. I lost the resident pass issue. We had lots of people here talked about how important the non-resident passes were. We as a board, in my opinion, didn't take that into consideration tonight or previously. So this is from the Board of Directors Operations and Procedures Manual, which all of us should be very aware of. Board correspondence, emails and letters, including anonymous ones, addressed to any member or members of the board, which we all have been, will be shared with and reviewed by all board members and the executive director. I believe we met all that for December 9th, with the exception of an email that Margaret got from Cindy George. And we have no idea what it said. It was not shared with the board, and that's a clear violation of our operations. That is higher level of not following our norms than that particular, and you said it right in the email. I'll send it to you, it's okay. You can trust me that I'm saying what you sent. And then, like I said, I was just going to let all that go. You'll notice I never responded to it. Still have not responded to it. And then until this morning, I received another email calling me on the carpet about not following the norms. And I'm going to say, if you're going to call me on the carpet, it's going to come right back at you. So this is right here on our Operations and Procedures Manual. So to me, this is more important. We should all be familiar with this, and it bothers me that you're not, is an individual board member has no authority to act or speak on the board's behalf without board authority. In today's email, I was told that I did, even though I clearly responded to Lori Goldstein as an individual person. I made it very clear, I said it over 3 times, I'm not speaking on behalf of the board. I'm not. That email that you sent out to me this morning was inaccurate. However, individual board members, me, have both the right and the duty to discuss district matters with the public. While board members may choose, you said I could not dissent. You said I was out of line by dissenting. I'm not. While board members may choose to publicly express dissenting opinions after a vote, they must support and enforce the final decision of the board. That's what I did. I expressed publicly my dissent after the vote, but I have not gone against that. I have not said anything about it. I still support the resident passes. I don't like the fact that we're not going to offer non-resident passes. I think that's a terrible decision, but I'll support it. And when people ask me about it, I'll support it because that's what I have agreed to do. That's also part of these agenda items. So I had that right and duty. You cannot take away my First Amendment right to speak. Can't do it. And your email today really felt that way. We commit to effective communication and transparency with each other, staff and community members. I don't think you've done that. We commit to extending grace in our actions and attitudes, not if the only person who dissents is the one that gets called on the carpet. That's not grace. We commit to choosing collaboration over control because shared ideas build stronger solutions. We haven't done that. And we commit to making decisions when we have enough information and not before. We have an email that you received the other night and that I received about non-resident player passes. It needed to be in our packet tonight. Or at least we needed to all see it. It needed to be shared. Whether it was for an agenda item or not, it all needed to be shared. It has not been shared. So if you're going to call me out for breaking the norms, I'm going to hold you for breaking the norms and breaking the actual bylaws and the director's operations and procedures manual. Like I said, I wanted to let this go, but after being called out this morning.
Well, so first of all, I'd like to say that the characterizations that you presented are not true and are mischaracterized greatly.
Let me read it to you.
And no, you don't have to read this to me.
Well, I think maybe it needs to go into minutes.
What I would like to, what I think we need to discuss as a board is we need to address the expectation that all board members adhere to board norms. And I'd like I'd like to hear from the rest of the board that the way that they say that. The emails that went out were sent to everybody.
Not the one from Cindy George.
It's staff's responsibility to respond to the emails. Yvonne and Ellen have been responding to them. Yvonne sent out an email to all of us letting us know as a board that she and Ellen have been taking care of it. The other thing that they've said is that they've been addressing all the questions. They have not been addressing all of the things that are inappropriate comments that have been made. They've let those go. And so they have been handling all of those, and I have shared to the best of my ability, and there have been numerous emails going back and forth about this with everybody, and relied and been in constant contact with Yvonne and Ellen to make sure, one, they have the emails and that they've been responding to them. And so, well, not all the board members that have been copied, because it is the district staff's responsibility to respond to that. We're here for strategy. We're not here to respond to emails. That's micromanaging, and that's against our board norms. I've been providing those.
It's not against our board norms.
It is.
It's not against our board norms.
Our board norms say that we commit to thinking big and leave the details to staff.
With respect to correspondence, this is from your email to me, the email reference does not materially alter the policy question before the board and does not warrant reopening the decision. That's not your decision. That's our board's decision to make.
And we made that decision already.
But we get to see her.
Voted for
we
the
didn't
budget,
see her email.
We made the decision.
We did not get to see her email.
Well,
we did not. And I expect you to send that to all of us.
I will.
And the one that came from Jeff Jones yesterday or 2 days ago, that one also needs to come to all of us. You can't unilaterally make a decision without giving it to us.
That one just a minute, please.
Yep, I think
I did send that to the entire board I forwarded that to the entire board, and I put in the header that this was being forwarded via BCC. And this is maybe part of this problem here, is that to email to the entire group of the board of directors should be done via BCC, so it is not creating a board meeting. So that is how I communicate with board. I try to do it in the heading of just good afternoon, good evening, board members. Now I'm going to add to it, this is being communicated to all board members via BCC, but that email
And
did go to the entire board.
I agree with those did. Cindy George's did not. And Margaret's response to me was that the email referenced does not materially alter the policy question and does not warrant reopening the decision. That's your decision to make.
Well,
But you made it without involving
I would
us.
have to look at the context of that.
That's
and
fine.
see that, and I would be more than happy to engage the rest of the board on that. If that was an oversight on my part, I am more than happy to correct that.
Good. Because
Absolutely.
this morning you sent me an email that said, once again, I was out of line and I have violated our norms, and I'm saying you have violated our norms
Well, then
just as I have. And so I will hold myself accountable, but I'm not saying if I did or when I did or whatever. I'm taking ownership right now tonight that I was asked to provide input on the resident passes and did so. And then I got quite frankly, it was an insulting email that I was going to let go. I want you to know, I never responded to it, and you can find that out. Because I wanted to find out if Lori ever got that recall, if you ever got that, because we all talked about operational stuff. And I was the only one called on the carpet.
No, I shared everything with everybody. I have shared.
But
everything
not
with
Cindy
them.
George's email.
That's,
Can I ask a question? When we supposedly, if this was a done deal and the fees were already set, then how come we keep receiving emails from all these unhappy golfers that it shouldn't be this way?
And Lauren, did you
I can't answer that question for him.
That's why I wrote what I did tonight. It's like, they still think it's up in the air. And that you're speaking for them. That's the impression that we're getting from these emails.
Ask me the question.
What, ask you?
Ask me, do you have a question for me on that? No, I am not. I've not been in contact with them. I have not been talking to them behind the scenes. I have not been. Is that your question?
you sent.
Because that's also calling me on the carpet.
You sent an email to Lori that impugned our
I disagree. I was
credibility.
able to say why I disagreed with the decision, said it was my own decision based upon my First Amendment rights, and I have not said anything about not supporting the board, that board decision. Nothing.
Well, okay, so I would like to give other people an opportunity to speak. The item that I wanted to discuss under open discussion is I would like to address the expectations of all board members and their adherence to board norms that we collectively approved and agreed to. We recently had an issue involving adherence to our established norms, and that matter has been addressed. Our board norms were created to strengthen the board effectiveness and protect our credibility. They represent a collective agreement by the entire board on the standards of conduct from all members. These norms are only function as intended when everyone adheres to them. What I want to focus this discussion on is the broader expectation that every board member consistently follows our established norms, and we reaffirm our commitment to both collectively and individually adhering to these norms. If we don't agree on that, then we need to schedule another meeting. But it's not going to be productive to sit and accuse things, because I can deny it and you'll deny it.
I
So
have the receipts.
And Lori, Mike, Danny, anything that you would like to add?
Well, I do. Or do you want to go first? Okay, I'm going to go first, and I had something written out. I read the email that you sent to us and to other golf members. And so I don't have it in front of me, but there are 2 paragraphs that I have here that I think are very applicable. And you let me know if I'm wrong. When a board board member publicly distances themselves from the board decision or from staff decisions, it weakens both the board and the staff and creates confusion for the public. Transparency comes through the board process, not through individual communications that undermine the process. This is not about First Amendment rights, and nobody is trying to censor anyone. Disagreement belongs in the discussion in the board and not public messaging. That's what erodes trust.
Danny, I appreciate you saying that. I absolutely understand, but you guys also understand that I'm being treated differently than Lori was, and that Margaret has also violated our norms of operations, our regular norms, and our rules of operation. We all have. So why am I the one who's being singled out?
Well, I think it was that email.
Wait, there was an email before then that I was trying my best to just let it go. I'll send it. I can send it to you guys again.
I don't need to be. It's at home, but I mean, it just really felt like you were the only one on the side of all the golfers, and we were the big meanies. And
They deserved a response from us, from the board.
the board's response was supposed to be united.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. You read my response back to Lori Goldstein. I didn't say anything about not supporting that decision. Nothing.
I think the golfers deserve a response from staff. The board sets a higher expectation, and to the individual, and we have, and it's been my standard practice, to forward any emails that I get to Yvonne to help prepare a response.
But you didn't do that with Cindy Georges.
And that might have been an oversight on mine because of the multitude of emails that we were receiving from the various golfers. And it's hard to know who was copied on who and what.
It wasn't hard for me.
Well, you're exceptional.
Board of Directors Operations and Procedures Manual. It is my right and duty.
And I am absolutely will share that email with Cindy George. I don't think it will have make any difference, but I'm more than happy to. And what Cindy George shared with me is that, well, she understands, and I'm paraphrasing because I've had personal discussions with her as well, because Cindy and George and I are friends outside of this board. Well, she understands that that residents get discounts. She wanted a pass that her non-residents could use because it expedites the check-in at the pro shop and that whole thing. So she did request that there would be some type of pass available to expedite check-in.
And Margaret, that's not my point. My point is that you took it upon yourselves to not share all the information that you had.
No,
that's a violation. That's a violation of our Operations and Procedures Manual.
Mischaracterization.
So was that a violation of our Operations and Procedures Manual?
No, that is a mischaracterization by you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Does Mike
Excuse
have
me.
something to say?
Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to have a highly functional board of directors for the benefit of the district and for the benefit of staff. And so my suggestion is Margaret and Warren get together and talk through and rebuild your relationship. Mistakes have been made, no one in this world is perfect, but the two of you need to get together and rebuild trust with each other and appropriate norms between the two of you and how you operate.
And Mike, I agree with that.
Let me finish.
No one called me.
Yeah.
No one.
So.
Yeah, let him speak.
Again,
Interruption, please.
For the benefit of the district, for the benefit of staff, for the benefit of the rest of the board members, the two of you need to get together and spend time and work through the issues. Again, I'm not saying, just come to a norms for working together in a partnership for the benefit of the district. That's my suggestion. But I think there's been enough discussion here tonight on the topic, and I think we should move on.
And can I bring this home? As you all know, when I was on my first and second term, these meetings were hell. And I I don't want to be back there again. And I hope going forward that we can be a functioning board with grace and respect with one another, because right now I have a pit in my stomach being in between this. And I think, like Mike says, you have to sit and you have to repair this relationship, because it is not fair to the rest of us to sit here and feel this way to the staff, because I won't do it for 4 years. To the public, I'm not gonna do this for 4 years. You better find a way to repair it, because this is not a functioning board. And you owe it to everybody, the public and the staff.
We do owe it to everybody.
We do.
And that's why I said I was gonna let that first email go
It doesn't
until I
have-
got this one today.
Okay, well then you two need to get together, because this is not productive.
No, it's not. But just calling me out is not productive either.
I just hope that going forward, we can repair this, because it's not fair, because it's going back and forth between two people. So let's just move forward, and you two need to find a way to repair this. And if you can't, then we be productive during these meetings, but we're not gonna be agitating or picking on one another.
And I will say that we need to be respectful of everybody and give people time and the opportunity to express their opinions and not interrupt them.
Well, the email I received this morning was not respectful.
Moving on to item number 16, board meeting action recap. Are there any items that require a recap? I don't have any items on there.
Yeah, no, me either.
Okay, so I am looking for a motion.
Excuse me just one second, Madam President. So we have the 3 executive sessions that are going to be called here today. I'm going to request that we flip B and C. So item executive session A will be first, executive session C will be second, and executive session B will be third.
Allison, can we just read all 3 of these?
Yes.
motions?
Yep, just do individual motions, read each motion, vote on it, then the next one, and then we can go into executive session.
I'm looking for a motion for executive sessions.
I'll do, B. Yeah. Wait. Okay, all right. I move to enter executive session pursuant to section 24-6-402, 4B, and 4E CRS to discuss a splash land lease at 3365 West 67th Avenue, Adams County, Colorado. In conference with the district council, legal advice on specific negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators regarding the splash land lease.
Second?
All those in favor of moving of this executive motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving to the next executive motion, or executive session motion.
Executive session pursuant to section 24-6-402 4B CRS for the purpose of a conference with the district's legal counsel regarding specific legal questions pertaining to Highland Hills Park and Recreation District, a Colorado quasi-municipal corporation and political subdivision of the state of Colorado versus Sam Bagger Incorporated, DBA Chancho's, a Colorado corporation, Donald C. Chancho II as director, and Donna Charbonnier as director in matters related thereto.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving to the third executive session motion.
I move to enter into executive session pursuant to section 24-6-4028E and F CRS for determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, instructing negotiations regarding the executive director's employment agreement, and for discussing a personnel matter involving the evaluation of the executive director who's been notified of the executive session and has consented to it.
All
Second.
those, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. As such, we move into executive session, so we say goodbye to a lot of people.
And our apologies.
Yes.
So Bob, yes, Bob, you need to stay for the motion.